Hey everybody, Wes Aranto here. Just wanted to do a little high-level summary now that we've completed. We're after reading, we've completed week 8. We've got some big projects in. Just wanted to do a high-level summary conversation, some inputs, some feedback, stuff like that. So, first of all, we had the outside discussion board posts. We had those 3 short stories, and I'd love to hear people's feedback on it. And then, of course, after reading the bios and keeping in mind how long ago they were, for some people it changed your opinion, for others it didn't. And I thought it was a really important exercise. One, for me, it's a big one because 2 of them were only converted to English a little bit later, as well as the diversity of stories from different viewpoints, different parts of the world. All that I thought is really important, especially in North America. Sometimes we get in our head that everything great comes out of North America, and I mean, I'm not saying that's correct because it's not, but I just mean I think sometimes we get a little center of the universe focused, and this course for me is a lot to do with trying to diversify. Hope everyone likes my background. It is real, it is not AI. It's one where for me it's really important that we actually try to be open to debate and discussion and deal with some more difficult topics that we face in the world. By just taking this course and being part of it, I really think you're more open-minded than lots of people in the world to start with. I think it takes a creative and open-minded person to be interested in science fiction and fantasy in itself, as well as I think hopefully it keeps us a little bit younger and having a bit more fun out there in the world, and maybe a little more tolerant even. So then we had our first movie review, which we had 2001 Space Odyssey, Johnny Mnemonic, Back to the Future 2, I believe, and Ex Machina or Ex Machina, depending on how you want to say it. And all of them for me are great and bad in their own way. I grew up with the Back to the Future type movie. Space Odyssey was even before my time. Like those a lot. Johnny Mnemonic was definitely in my wheelhouse of time. I really am a big Keanu Reeves fan. I met Keanu Reeves through football with him. They had done a movie at our house where he was one of his first acting debuts under a big actor at the time named Charles Bronson. Really dating myself based on those terms. But it was just really nice because he was just slightly older than me and got to hang out, and he was a nice guy then. And I mean, if you see him out there these days, he's still viewed very positively in the industry period as a good person, not to mention some of the best sci-fi movies out there of all time, arguably, he's been part of. So really cool that way. And then for me, Ex Machina or Ex Machina, depending on how you want to say it, I think it's a great movie actually, but it's also a really hard movie for me to watch. It's one I can't watch that often. For me, the depth of where the story goes, I find very interesting. It's also a little bit heartbreaking for me. That ending, brings in that whole AI concept, and also us thinking we can put human emotions on other things, and sometimes that's just not true. We want to think certain things can have that emotion, but maybe they can't, or maybe they don't want to. So anyway, really find that very interesting as well. So I really hope you've enjoyed those. The idea is to expand you past your normal realm of what you'd watch or do. That's why the one coming up here, I believe, is 1970s or earlier, and cannot be 2001 Space Odyssey, whether you did or not. That cannot be an option, just because it leads, there's too easy for people to cheat or reuse material. So I want you to really expand your horizon. This is the type of course, it's what you put in is what you get out. So I really hope you're enjoying it so far. I really do. The Black Mirror assignment too, actually, the commentary and the input just shows how many of you really did watch it and didn't just use someone else's work or maybe chat GPT it. I know those are always risks, but I really trying to give you assignments that I really hope you choose to do because they're important. I think there's something to really be learned from it. So we did a Black Mirror episode, Nosedive, and I thought some of the answers were just amazing and heartfelt, and the connectivity to your own life or those things you've seen is great. Now is a really interesting time to think about this story now in this new AI-driven world, where we're really dealing with even more false information or fake news or whatever you want to call it, because now, I was watching, there's shows out there now saying, send in the video and we'll tell you if AI created it or not. And it's like, it's just amazing to think about the false or inaccurate information that gets shared and how do you filter that. Like in my generation, news and certain things, there was a certain level of credibility that you could expect or rely upon, whether it was biased or not, but the information, at least in having some accuracy, where nowadays, unless you really do your research, because if you're just reading the headlines, the amount of false information out there that becomes viral or else so that people believe it is becoming pretty crazy. And so it's like, how do you learn what's real and what isn't? So I've really a little bit concerned for the future that way, in the sense of determining honest information and how that will occur, because it's only going to be getting harder in the near future anyway. I hope we do find some solution. And with Black Mirror, that whole concept of, people basically fundamentally valuing themselves based on their rating. I think unfortunately society has headed a fair amount that way. And being someone who, grew up at the very beginning, and I would have been viewed as a hacker when the internet was just being created type idea. It's for me is very interesting to see where we've come. It also, some things good, some concerning, but for me, Nosedive is an interesting one because it also makes me sit here and think now, like, if I told people back in 2018 that the government would be able to order us to stop working and stop getting together and stop seeing people and forcing us what to wear and things like that, at least half my friends would have said I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, that I'd lost my mind, that there's no way we'd fall in line in general. And we did fundamentally. And then they would have thought even more crazy that when they look at removing these mandates they forced upon us, people would object and actually protest against the right to choose. Yet we saw that. And so for me, it's really interesting to see then with that mixed with, seeing that side of what happened in the world, which we really hadn't seen in my lifetime, or even pretty much almost anyone being alive's lifetime, where on a world scale, we basically limited access or limited things that people could do, and the thing is, would we allow it again? I don't know. Like, there has been a fair amount of pushback now, and so I know this is a little bit long-winded, but the whole idea is I'm really excited to see how many people are opening up their minds and open to debate. And whether you agree or disagree with me, I think you'll notice your marks are great. In the sense, if you put the work in, I'm not judging on that. I'm sure not trying to create bias. I'm trying to create open dialogue, and I really hope you're enjoying it for that reason. So I hope the course has been fun for you. I hope it continues to be fun for you, and I really hope you're a bit like me and a bit of a nerd and enjoy your sci-fi, fantasy, MCU, Star Wars, whatever it is, Warhammer 4000, whatever you're into. I really hope you continue it. I really hope you keep that open mind and really try to make the world a better place. Thank you so much for listening. I hope everyone has a great day.